This is the video key for Power Standard 4 for Math 3. So let's get into it. So first thing we're going to do is simplify the expressions. All right, all we're doing here is adding. So we are adding two terms together. Do not multiply them, you're just adding. So you're going to combine the like terms. So we have 13x squared and negative 8x squared. So 13 minus 8 is going to give you 5x squared. Then we have x plus 7x, which gives us 8x. Then we have negative 5 and negative 7, which gives us negative 12. That is it. All right, next. This time we are subtracting. Please do not multiply. Okay, now when you're doing subtraction, it's very important that that negative sign is going to change all the terms in the right-hand parentheses. So that becomes negative, it's almost like negative 4x squared, negative 10x, and plus 3, sorry, because the signs all change. All right, so we're going to combine the like terms. So we have x squared minus 4x squared, which gives us negative 3x squared. Then we have negative 9x minus 10x, which gives us negative 19x. And negative 3 minus negative 3 is negative 3 plus 3, which is 0. We don't have to write that down, so this becomes our answer. Okay, next. Now we're multiplying. Okay, now you can do two different methods. You can do the rainbow method, you can do the box method. I'm just going to do the rainbow method here because it's already set up kind of to do the rainbow method, and it's pretty easy once there's only two things to multiply versus some of the other problems we've done in the past. So we're going to multiply those two things together and then these two things together. So you multiply things along the rainbow, and then you combine the like terms and you're done. So 5x times 2x is 10x squared. 5x times 3 is 15x. Now we do the negative 4. Negative 4 times 2x is negative 8x. Negative 4 times 3 is negative 12. Notice I put the like terms vertically in a column so that you can see where they are, and then you can just combine the like terms. So we have 10x squared. That's going to be plus 7x and then minus 12. All right. And then part D. Now in this case, this is always tricky. People want to just square the two numbers. That's not what this is saying. What this is saying is that you're multiplying 3x minus 1 times itself. Okay, so you're multiplying it by itself. You're not just squaring the terms inside the parentheses. So again, we do the rainbow method. So we got 3x times 3x, 3x times negative 1, negative 1 times 3x, and negative 1 times negative 1. So the first one, we're going to get 9x squared, then negative 3x, then negative 3x again, and negative 1 times negative 1 is positive 1. All right, this time I didn't put them in, I didn't line up the like terms in a column, but that's fine. It doesn't make a difference. You still have to combine the like terms, though. You're going to get 9x squared minus 6x plus 1. That's it. All right, next we're trying to find equivalent expressions, okay, to this, 4n plus 1 squared. So let's do this. We're going to go right here and write out what that's supposed to be. Since it's squared, we're going to do just like we just did, 4n plus 1. Sorry, I keep saying minus, I don't know why. Okay, so we combine the like terms by multiplying, we multiply first and then combine the like terms. We have 4n times 4n, 4n times 1, and the same thing with the other one. We will get 16n squared plus 4n again, and then plus 1. Combine the 4n's in the middle. We're going to get 8n plus 1. So what we want to do is check the other problems in this to see if any of them match what we just got from our first expression. Okay, so we have to just do the order of operations that apply to each problem. First one, we're going to multiply 4n times 2n and get 8n squared. 4n times 1 gives us 4n. This next part, 2n plus 1 squared, is going to be the same thing we've done the last two times. I'm going to do them together. So we got 4n squared, we got 2n, we got 2n again, we got plus 1. And at the very end, we have plus 4n squared. So now we have all the terms written out. What you have to do now is combine them to figure out what is common, what is alike. So we have 8n squared, 4n squared, and 4n squared, which gives you a total of 16n squared. Then we have 4n, 2n, and 2n, which gives you a total of 8n. Then we have 1. So does that match what we did before? Yes, it does. So this is I'm going to put a star by it. We got to do the other 3, though. All right, so 3n times 2n squared gives you 6n to the third. 3n times n is 3n squared. All right, we're not multiplying that 3n times anything else but those 2 things in that parentheses. We are, though, multiplying the second set of parentheses by -2. So -2 times 2n is going to be -4n, and -2 times 1 is going to be -2. Okay, there are no like terms to combine in this. That is your answer, but it obviously does not match what we had above. Let's go to B. 2n squared times 2n is going to be 4n to the third. 2n squared times -4 is going to be -8n squared. All right, plus 6 times n is going to be positive 6n, and 6 times -1 is -6. Again, there are no like terms to combine, and it obviously does not look like what we started with. So that's not going to be a starred. All right, last one. This one's a little more tricky. The reason being is you have a squared here, and you have a times 3. So which one do you do first? All right, unfortunately, some of you are going to pick the times 3. You actually have to square it first. So exponents come before multiplication. So we're going to have 3n plus 1 times 3n plus 1. Multiply the terms together, I get 9n squared plus 3n plus 3n plus 1. And we're still multiplying that by the 3 out in front. Okay? So if we do that, 3 times all those terms, you're going to get 27n squared. 3n plus 3n is 6n, times 3 is going to be 18n. And 3 times 3 is 3. All right, so that's the terms of the first part of our expression here. Now we have to do -2 times 5n and times 1. So it's going to give you -10n and then -2. And we have -11n squared at the very end. So now we can start combining our like terms. Okay, so we have 27n squared minus 11n squared. It's going to give you 16n squared. 18n minus 10n is going to give you plus 8n. And 3 minus 2 is going to give you positive 1. And this actually does look like what we started with, so this, again, gets a star. Excuse me. Last but not least, we're doing these evaluating expressions. So what you have is you're given a bunch of different expressions here. We're given, looks like 4 different expressions. There's 1, 2, 3, 4. And they all say different things. And what we're going to do is we're going to put values into each expression and do what it asks us to do. So what we're doing here in the first one says p of -4. So we're going to take the p function all the way over here. There's the p function, which is the absolute value of -4x. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to put this -4 into the x value in your function. So it's going to look like this, -4. Every time I do it, I'm going to put it in parentheses. Oops. -4, absolute value bracket. Okay. So, -4 times -4 is positive 16, and the absolute value of 16 is 16. Whatever comes out of absolute value bracket is going to automatically be positive, but it doesn't really make a difference because it was positive anyway. Okay, you're not multiplying that expression, that absolute value, by -4. You're putting -4 into the expression. Okay? Part B, we have 2x plus x squared. We are putting -5 into these two x's. So we have 2 times -5. Notice I'm putting it in parentheses when I do it, plus -5 squared. And again, it's really important you do that because that -5 squared, if you don't put it in parentheses in your calculator, it's going to give you -25. instead of what it should be, which is positive 25. So we have 2 times negative 5 is negative 10, plus 25. When you combine those two, it's going to give you 15. Moving on. R. R is 10 minus x squared. We're putting negative 6 in for the x. So we have 10 minus negative 6 quantity squared. So that's going to be 10 minus 36, which is going to be negative 26. Okay, now we got multiple things going on. So we got the k, so we have 1/3 times the x value, which in this case is 3, minus p, which is the absolute value of negative 4 times 1. All right, so 1/3 times 3 is 1, minus the absolute value of negative 4 is 4, okay, and that gives you negative 3. So when negative 4 times 1 gives you negative 4, but the absolute value of negative 4 is positive 4, but you still have that negative sign in front, which again makes it negative. All right, moving on. We have 2 times r of negative 4. So we're going to have 2 times 10 minus negative 4 quantity squared. So we're going to figure out what's inside this and then multiply it by 2. So you have 10 minus negative 4 squared is positive 16 times 2. 10 minus 16 is negative 6 times 2 is negative 12. All right, moving on to F, we have k to the 12th and r to the 3rd. So k is 1/3 times 12 plus r is 10 minus 3 squared. All right, I'm going to put the entire second expression in parentheses. And it's a good habit to do because although it doesn't really make a difference for this plus part, when you do a minus one, like we're going to see in letter G next, it will make a difference. All right, 1/3 times 12 is 4, plus 3 squared is 9, and 10 minus 9 is 1. Okay, so 4 plus 1 is 5. All right, G, we're a little bit more complicated even still. So we have P, which is going to be the absolute value of negative 4 times negative 2, plus the K term is, where's K? 1/3 times 6. And then minus the M, which is 2 times X, which is negative 3, plus negative 3 squared. You know, let's do this. There we go. Perfect. All right, so there's a lot of stuff going on here. Notice I put each one of these functions in parentheses when I did the plus or the minus. So let's see what each one is going to give you individually, and then we can combine them. So negative 4 times negative 2 is positive 8, and the absolute value of positive 8 is still positive 8. Plus 1/3 times 6 is going to be 2, minus negative 3 squared is 9, and then 2 times negative 3 is negative 6. So negative 6 plus 9 is positive 3. Okay, so you're going to have 10 minus 3 is 7. And that's it. Last one, we have M, which is 2 times 1 plus 1 squared divided by k to the negative 3, or k of negative 3, sorry. So we have 1/3 negative 3. So let's figure out what these are individually first. So 2 times 1 is 2, plus 1 squared is also 1. So it's 2 plus 1 is 3. Divided by 1/3 times negative 3 is going to be negative 1. So 3 divided by negative 1 is equal to negative 3. All right, and that is Power Standard 4.